everybody, it's Jackie Jing, and the full review for The Lion King is now available on IGN.com, so make sure you go check it out. But this is my initial reaction, and oh my gosh, I loved watching The Lion King when I was growing up. Me and my brother, we watched it on repeat. We knew every word to every song in that movie. Absolutely adored it. And so I was really excited about the remake. Definitely had my reservations because all of the live action movies thus far, they just cannot encapsulate what we see in the OG films, and that's kind of what happened here. It was lovely to revisit this awesome, powerful story, but it was revisiting it. It really brought nothing new. So a little disappointing, but let me start off with some of the things that I wasn't the biggest fan of. The first act was a little bit slow to me, but more than anything, they cut down Be Prepared. Be prepared. It's like one of my favorite Disney songs. Be prepared for sensational news. It's like probably it's my favorite villain song. I'll just say poor unfortunate souls is pretty darn close. But yeah, anyways, love Be Prepared. And then Chiwetel Ejiofor is killing it. Like he's bringing this like to the performance and this like passion, and I'm like getting ready for him to like start, and then they just cut it off. And I literally, my stomach sank. I was like, why? Why though? So that really was a kick to the gut for me. And then JD McCreary, he did a great job as young Simba, but his version of I Just Can't Wait to Be King, I don't feel like it struck me as much as the one from the original film, just because the original film, that scene was so outlandish and cartoonish and colorful, so it was hard to really have that fun and like zaniness that we saw in the original. So I don't think it had anything to do with JD. I think he sings wonderfully, and I really liked his performance as Simba, but that song just fell short because it just didn't have the umph that we saw in the original. Another thing that disappointed me, the hyenas. Oh my gosh, I love them in the original movie. And I do think Florence Kasumba did a really good job. She's no Whoopi Goldberg, but she really made it her own because, Whoopi was like really funny and sassy and like the leader. But Florence is more fierce, and you totally feel that, and I love that. But yeah, they weren't as funny, and it just made me sad because they were so funny in the 90s movie. But let me talk about some of the things I did like. I did get in a debate with someone over Donald Glover. Somebody outside the theater was telling me that they felt like he had a performance that was kind of like aloof and just didn't seem like he was all in it. But for me, it seemed like very candid and casual and more like fun and a little bit more relaxed. And oh man, there was one part where he's fighting Scar, and it just made me cringe. In just a way that he had this vulnerability that we had not seen with Simba in the 90s movie. Like I really felt like you could sense Simba's pain and insecurity and trauma from what happened to him more so than in the 90s movie. So I was a fan of Donald as Simba, and then Beyonce, her singing's just like out of control. I could not hear Donald singing. I mean, literally, I could just hear Beyonce when she was singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight." I had all the hairs on my arm just like sticking straight up. I was like, yeah, it was amazing. I mean, she's Beyonce, so duh. Comedy wise, I mean, not comedy wise, just straight out, like the standouts from the movie to me though were Bill Eichner, Seth Rogen, and John Oliver. Bill Eichner totally took control of Timon, and I mean, I love Timon from the 90s version, and Bill Eichner turned him like totally into this really like sarcastic, grumpy, sharp-witted, character, and it was really fun. And Seth Rogen was very much like Pumbaa, like dopey and a little bit silly. And then John Oliver Zazu, like he totally made his own as well. He just I don't know, it was just so funny. I could hear all of them, and I really enjoyed their performances. I was like laughing so much. So if you're a parent, I say definitely take your kids. Visually, this is off the chain. It's it's fun. It's a fun movie. If you're like my age, you're gonna get those nostalgia feels, but it's gonna feel a little disappointing because it's just not as good as the original. But it's a good time, and again, visually just so breathtaking and such a powerful, great story. So, if you want to go see it again in a different way, a different telling of it, then 100% go. So again, the full review is on IGN.com. They got the verdict, everything you want to know. And don't forget to check out some of the other stuff I have on my YouTube page. Doing a little podcast with my girl Hannah Clanky. Tall Girl Tell All podcast is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And then also don't forget to hit me up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and twitch.tv/Sister of Ian. So yes. All right. Tell me what you think about Lion King in the comments section. Tell me below. Tell me below.